Okay, for chapter 3.4. Okay, chapter 3.4. What we're going to learn about for this one is going to be very, very, very important. Okay, for a long time. You will use this for a very, very long time. Okay, we're going to learn something called slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form of a line. Slope-intercept form of a line. Okay, slope-intercept form. Okay. Can someone tell me, what does it mean? What is slope? What is slope? Yeah.
Steepness.
The steepness, okay? So slope is another word for, I would say, how you move, okay? Slope is how you move, okay? So the steepness would be like, how much you have to go up over how much you have to go over, okay? So then what is an intercept? Say it again. Okay, if I said I was going to intercept something. Cross, okay. Intercept is where a line crosses. Crosses what, though?
Another line?
It could be where it crosses the line, okay. What we're going to talk about today is slope-intercept form, okay. And slope-intercept form is actually talking about where a line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so it's going to be where a line crosses the y-axis. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, y equals mx plus b. Okay, y equals mx plus b. The m stands for the slope. The b stands for the y-intercept. Okay, M stands for slope, B stands for y-intercept. But I think it's a little bit easier to think of slope is how you move. Okay, so the M stands for move. The y-intercept is where your graph begins. Okay, so move and begin. Those two are what you really, really want to remember here. Okay? So if I give you an equation, listen please, okay, and I'm going to ask you to state the slope and y-intercept of the following. State the slope and y-intercept of the equation. State the slope and y-intercept of the graph. Okay, so it might say of the graph or of the line. Okay, so something like this. If I ask you to state the slope and y-intercept of, sorry, I lost my place. State the slope and y-intercept of y equals 2/3 x minus 4. State the slope and y-intercept. State the slope and y-intercept. Stop. So here, what do you think is the slope in this line? And how can you tell? The 2/3. How do you know that that's the slope? Because it's in that spot, right? The slope is always the number attached to the x. So the slope is always the number attached to the x. It's where this m goes. So yes, this is the slope. Slope equals 2/3. How do you think you find the y-intercept? What's the y-intercept of this line? -4. -4 is the y-intercept. Y-intercept equals -4. The slope is always whatever is attached to the x. The y-intercept is whatever's at the end. Okay, you do have to take the sign with it. So if it's positive, if it has a plus, it's positive. If it has a minus, it's negative. That's all you have to do for the first part of your homework. That's it. Okay, state the slope and the y-intercept. State the slope and the y-intercept. I want you to do the same thing for number 2. I'd like you to state the slope and y-intercept of y equals negative x plus 3. State the slope and y-intercept of y equals negative x plus 3. State the slope and the y-intercept. So, what do you think is the slope of this equation? Negative 1, exactly. It's the number attached to the x. So, since there's not a number here, it's a negative, and it's an invisible 1. So, yes, the slope is negative 1. Perfect. What is the y-intercept of this equation? Positive 3. That's it. Slope, y-intercept. For the first part, that's all you have to do. Yes.
There's another part.
Well, in a little bit, yeah. Okay. Next one, I'm going to ask you to write an equation. Write an equation of the line in something called slope-intercept form. Write an equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Do you know what slope-intercept form is?
No.
It's this right here. I already showed it to you. Y equals mx plus b. That's called slope-intercept form. For some reason, when we start calling it things, it gets like way more confusing. It's just y equals mx plus b form. So this time, we're going to go backwards. For the first part, I gave you the equation, and I asked you to write the slope and the y-intercept. Now we're going to go backwards. We're just going to plug into that equation. So I would like you to write the equation of a line given, for number 3, if you are given that slope equals negative 1/2, y-intercept is 4. Write the equation. So all you have to do to write the equation is we start by y equals, you know you're going to have something with an m and then an x. You just have to fill in the blanks. Where does the slope go? Attached to the x. So negative 1/2. Where does the y-intercept go? At the end. Am I done? What am I missing? The plus. That's your equation. That's your answer. So you're just plugging things in and writing an equation. Done. That's it.
That's all more?
No, that's not all for notes, but I'm saying that's all for that problem. Sorry. That was, I didn't mean to fake you out. That was not nice. Almost.
Is that going to be on the test tomorrow?
This will probably be on your test tomorrow, yes. Okay? I'm sorry? It's just a quiz. Just a little quiz, yeah. Tomorrow. Tomorrow you have a quiz, yes.
Just about slope?
About what we've learned up until now. Okay, next thing I want you to do is write an equation for the graph. Write an equation for the graph shown. And it's always going to tell you to write a slope-intercept equation, okay? It's the same thing. I just want you to write an equation for the graph, okay? And it's technically telling you to write it in what's called slope-intercept form, okay? But it's really the same thing, okay? Write an equation for, I'm going to give you a grid, okay? On your homework, don't worry, it's going to be like the nice grid in the back, so it'll be, should be super easy for you. So if it crosses at 5, and it goes down to over 3. So if I'm telling you that it's these points, I'm telling you that it's these 2 points. And it'll be on a grid, so it makes it a little bit easier. Now, we know that it's going to start with a y equals you're going to have something and an x. So what is missing here? What's missing right here? The slope, and what's missing at the end? The y-intercept, okay? When you write equations, it's actually a little bit easier to write them backwards, okay? So remember, I told you that this is like y equals mx plus b. B stands for where it begins. M stands for move. So where does this graph begin? Where does it cross first? So I want you to look at where does it cross the y-axis. Is the y-axis the side to side or the up and down? The up and down. Where does it cross this y-axis? What number is that? 5. So guess what? Your y-intercept is 5. Plus 5. Now you just have to count, how do you get from here to the next point? How does it move? So how would you move to get from here to the next point? You always want to look at the up or down first. So how many points would you go down? Down 2. So that means -2. Over how many? 1, 2, 3. So what would your slope be? -2 over 3. So you start by writing where you start. That's your begin point. And then count how you move. Now, technically, what's another way you could have found the slope? What have we been doing up until now to find slope? Finding two points and using the formula, right? If you have a graph, do you really want to use that formula? No, just count. Okay, just count how many times you go up or down and how many times you go to the right. That's your equation. This is a perfect equation. Okay, so count. That's it. Then the last kind of thing that you're going to do is I'm going to ask you to graph the equation. Graph the equation. So for example number 5, I would like you to graph y equals, I want you to graph y equals, I lost my place, 1/4 x minus 3. Graph 1/4 x minus 3. So you're going to have to do it on a grid. Okay, so you will have to do it on a separate sheet of paper, and that's fine for your homework, okay? Graph here. So what does this 1/4 tell you? 1/4 is the what? The slope, and slope tells you how you move. What's the -3? What's that called? The y-intercept. And this is how you move. This is where you begin. So slope is how you move. Y is where you begin. Okay? So slope and begin. So if I'm going to put 4 marks on each direction. Where should I put my first point, my beginning point? At -3. So is that up 3, left 3, down 3, or right 3? Down 3. Okay, we're always starting on the y, which is the up and down. So put your first point at down 3. Put a point. From this point, I want you to move 1/4. What does that actually mean? Move up 1 and over 4. So move up 1. So if you want to, you can draw the little steps. Step over 4. So over 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a point there. Connect them with a line. Done. Okay? This you are going to do a lot for a lot of years to come. Okay? You will be talking about, this is called a linear equation. You will deal with these for many, many years to come. Okay? I want you to do one more that I want you to graph, and then we will be done with those. Okay? Number 6, same thing. I would like you to graph the equation. Okay? Graph the equation. Let's do y equals -x plus 5. -x plus 5. Did you have a question, Malia?
Oh, yeah. For clarification on our graph, what is negative and positive? Like, which way is moving?
Oh, positive is always up or to the right.
Okay.
Negative is down or to the left. So this is the positive. when you look at the x-axis, which is the side-to-side one, think of like a number line. The nuns on the right are positive, the ones on the left are negative. Then if you're looking at the up and down, think of like a temperature gauge, okay? We don't ever get to negative temperatures here, but as you go up, it gets hotter, which is higher, positive. As you go down, it gets lower, which would be negative. So, where do I start for this? Where's my begin point? Positive 5 is your begin. So put your first point at positive 5, and it's going to be up 5. So put your first point, your beginning point at positive 5. How do you move? What's your m here? -1. But to move, I need to make it a what? A fraction. How do I make -1 into a fraction? Put it over 1. So you always have to have, with your slope, when we're graphing, you always have to have a numerator and a denominator. The top tells you you're going to move -1. So that means down 1, right 1. We always move to the right. Okay? Always move to the right. So this tells you down 1. This tells you right 1. Okay? Down 1, right 1. Connect them with a line. Make it as straight as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Does not have to be perfect. So down 1, right 1. And we're good. Okay? Do the best you can. I don't expect absolute perfection. Okay? Unless you had a grid behind it. Make sure you write this down, that your homework for this is going to be on page 203. You are doing numbers 1 through 12 and 17 through 22. Okay? I expect both homework assignments to be done tomorrow. Because yes, I am obviously collecting and correcting both of them.
So how did you